and welcome to our 2019 Men's College Cup press conference. Just ask. We'll open with a statement from Coach and then turn it over to questions where you can ask questions to anyone on the panel. Raise your hand and I'll bring over the microphone. And for each team today, just the first time with each new team, if you could identify yourself, your name, and which organization you're with. With that, we have head coach Brian Wiese, Achara, Derek Dodson, and Dylan Nealis. Coach, if you would just open with a statement about being here and back in the College Cup.
We're excited to be here. I think congratulations to all the teams that are participating. It's a pretty special event. I think we as a program, we're here 7 years ago in 2012, and I think I told the guys before the season started, I think 7 years was long enough to wait. So it's been a special run. For us, I think any team that's here will echo the same sentiments. I think everyone's having a special year that's here, which is what makes getting here a great accomplishment, and even more so, I think when you can succeed here, it's even more special because you're beating another team that's had one of the best seasons in their program's history. So we're excited for the challenge, and time's moving very slowly. We're trying to get to Friday at 6 o'clock as quick as we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. We'll now open up for questions. You'd raise your hand.
Stephen Goff of the Washington Post. Achara, what do you make of the Hoyas' position in this Final Four, the other teams that are here, and particularly Stanford and the success they've had in recent years?
I think it's fantastic that Georgetown is here. I think, since my freshman year, we've watched Stanford lift the national championship 3 times in a row, and we dream of being here. And I think, being with Wake Forest and UVA, Stanford, I think it's a big honor for all of us, and we're excited to, beat them. Keep going. Yeah.
John Fanta from the Big East Digital Network. Derek, when you think about this journey here, Coach has said all season long that this group, each individual progresses every day, and it's because of who the team is as a whole. Why has this group meshed so well?
I just think it's the type of people that Coach recruits. We really want to get people who fit into the team, that are outgoing but humble and just kind of want to be a good person. So I think that all 29 guys are really good people that just want to be friends, brothers, for as long as possible.
Dylan, everybody looks at the flashiness of goal scoring, and this team's combined to score 53 this year, yet defensively you've only allowed 11. Talking with Rio Hope Gunn, he said, we weren't totally sure what the back line would be in the preseason, and then things just came together. How would you break down the way that this team's gone about their business defensively?
Yeah, I think just flexibility is the biggest thing. I think if you look at anyone in the back four, each one of us could play anywhere in the back four. I started my freshman year at left back. Shona Hearn's naturally center back. Rio is naturally a midfielder, so we put him back there and it worked. And then with our goalies too, flexibility again. We're confident with either one of them back there. If we mess up, we're confident in them that they'll have our backs.
To follow up a little bit about this matchup with Stanford, just talked with Coach a little bit ago, kind of that idea of to be the best, you got to beat the best. What do you make of this challenge?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge challenge. They figured it out 3 of the past 4 years. They've won it all. Definitely going to be tough. They're a well-disciplined team. All the little details matter to them. So if we come out and focus on the little details and emphasize that importance, I think we'll be great on Friday.
Additional questions?
Brian, these other teams have won national championships.
Easy. Take it easy, Steve.
What do you need to win a title to reach that next echelon of college soccer? Is the College Cup, has that raised the program to the level of these other schools and others that did not make it here? Where do you think you now stand at this moment?
I think it's unfair to say in order to feel good about who you are and what you're doing and the people that you surround yourselves with, that in order to validate that, you have to win the national championship. There's too many programs out there that do a really good job, day in and day out, year in and year out, that do a really good job that maybe don't have the resources to properly compete, to even make an NCAA tournament, but really do it right. The validation is in looking at how you've done at the end of the season, where you are in August to where you are when your season ends, and saying, yeah, we did it right, we did as well as we could. The kids applied themselves well. They were good ambassadors for themselves, for the school, for the sport, and you know, at the end of the day, only one of us can lift this trophy on Sunday. But you know, this is a great year to take a step back and look at that. You look at the Washington team we just played in the Elite Eight game. What a special group of players that was. What an unbelievable year they had. Look at UCF. What an amazing team they were this year. Look at SMU. What an amazing run. I had one loss going into that game against Virginia. This year in particular has seen a field of programs that have had really special accomplishments take shape and hold, that I think any one of them is going to look back and say we did a great job, and who wouldn't want to go to any of those places and play and do it right. And I think the end result of lifting the trophy is what we all want, but you know, if I go through a 40-year career and never win the national championship, I'll be like, I wonder what that would have felt like. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to look back and say like, oh, that wasn't really, you know, a career well spent. And so, you know, it's the old adage of it's to just live for the end result and not the journey it's very true in sport. And so, but don't get me wrong, we don't want to just be here. I mean, we were here to win it, and I think that's maybe one of the fundamental differences between this team and the 2012 team is that even though not one of these guys has experienced the College Cup, each one of these guys has gone about their business as if they have, which I think is very different from our 2012 team. I think our 2012 team was on this run where it's like, boy, that's special, and we're here, and wouldn't it be great if we could win again? Whereas this team, I think I'm going to have to work very hard to convince them if we don't win on Friday or we don't win on Sunday, I'm going to have to work very hard to convince them that they were a special group and they accomplished some pretty special things because of what their mentality is. But you know, I think that's a credit to them and where they are as a group and how they've evolved and the self-belief they have in their own personal performance, but the confidence they have in each other has been really, really special to see.
Brian, you talk about convincing your group that they're special, you know, regardless of what happens from here on out. That said, what's it say about this group? They went 18-1-3, and they faced a conference that was second in the RPI this season, just the level that the Big East hit, and yet they overcame many and all challenges.
Well, I think any of them would tell you, you go through a really hard schedule. We schedule hard out of conference, and I always say we schedule hard out of conference to prepare for our conference. And I think when you really take a step back, you'll say we scheduled out of conference really hard to prepare for our conference, and then our conference has prepared us for the NCAA tournament well. I think you look at our final opponent in the Big East with the Providence was a pretty special team. They're very, very good. They're one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion. And we had to manage them twice. And you can't replicate the stresses of that and how that's going to prepare us. I think that team and that game prepared us for the Elite Eight game about as perfectly as you could ask to get ourselves through that. We needed that Big East final to get through the Elite Eight game. No, there's not a question about it.
All right, we have time for one more over here.
Yeah, Kip Coons for Press Box View and the Daily Progress. Dylan, given that you're the only team that hasn't won a championship in this field, more pressure, less pressure or is Or do you think that you guys are a little bit under the radar because of the notoriety of the other programs?
Yeah, I think it's the same. We're going into this Final Four thinking, we have a great chance of winning it, as I do believe the other teams are thinking the same thing. The history, it's history. We're not looking towards that. Even if the 2012 team did solve it, that's not our worry. I think we're here to focus on this season and this season only.
And actually, we do have time for one more, if anyone has one. All right, Georgetown, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow night. Virginia will join us momentarily.